today we're talking about how to create a regression equation. All right, so when you turn on your calculator, first thing you need to do is go to the stat, and we're gonna press enter on edit. All right, and then your job is to put in your data for list 1 and list 2. You gotta make sure that your list 1, 2, 3, 4 up top here is good to go. If that doesn't read list 1, then you're gonna have to press stat and go down to setup editor and press enter. Otherwise, if you already have your list 1 ready to go, you can press in your data entries. If you need to get rid of something that was already there, you can just clear that out. So I could just press clear and go down, and now I'm set to go again, but I'm gonna just re-enter those in. So putting in my 20, 30, 40, etc. And once all those are in of list 1 and your Y values in list 2, you quit out of there and you go to Y equals. And you have to make sure that your plot 1 is turned on. If it is not on, you're not gonna see a highlighted box around it. So we gotta go turn that on, press enter on it. It's highlighted. If some of these other ones are turned on, you're gonna wanna turn those off. But what that does is if you press zoom, stat is the 9th option. I can press 9, or I can go down to the 9th option and press enter. You'll see your scatter plot, and it'll tell you what kind of regression equation to do. And so since this is in the form of a parabola, I want to do a quadratic regression. So in order to do that, I'm going to go back to stat, and then I'm going to go over to calculate, and then I will go down to quadratic regression, which is the 5th option. Press enter. If you have an older calculator, you'll just have to press enter again, and it'll give you your equation. Newer calculators, you are able to store this regression equation, and you can do so by pressing alpha F4 and press enter on Y1. If we calculate that out, it gives us our equations, which A is going in front of that x squared, B is going in front of x, and C is going in there. So our equation would be this negative 0.26 x squared plus 22.59x plus 23.03. And sometimes that's all the question wants, and that would just be your answer. This bottom part, r squared, tells you how accurate it is. The closer this is to 1, the better. And so this is really close to 1. This is a really good equation. If you don't see that, you just have to go to mode, and near the bottom it has stat diagnostics, and you might have to scroll down to see it, but you just have to make sure that's turned on. Once that's turned on, you can go through the steps again, and it'll give you an r squared. But once your equation's in, if you have a newer calculator and you're able to do the alpha F4, it should be in there. Otherwise, if you have an older calculator, it's not in there yet. What you would have to do is press this variables button and go down to statistics, so the 5th option. And then we want to go to an equation, and it's our regression equation. So it's this first option here, and that will put in our regression equation into Y1. And whether you have an older calculator or a newer calculator, you're now at a point where you can just press graph and see your equation with the data points. But what you're going to want to do after this, some of the times, is find predictions. To do those predictions, go second table, and here you'll be able to put in different values in for X and see what it gives you for Y. If you are given, if you aren't allowed to just put in any value in for X, press enter, and it gives you the Y automatically, you might need to adjust and go second table set and switch this first thing to ask instead of auto. And so it naturally will be like this, 2 autos. but you're going to want to change this first one to ask. And then once you go to second table, now you're going to be able to, you won't see anything, but you'll be able to plug in 40 and see what it gives you for 40, or plug in 60 and see what it gives you for 60, or plug in 217 and see what it gives you for 217. And then it gives you those values over there. That's your prediction. All right.